Okay, good evening, everyone out there, especially those folks out here in the Las Vegas area. So today we're going to, of course, do a nice little market wrap up, see what the board has said our numbers are being or have been. And let's start looking at what some of the experts are saying about the 2023 housing market. Just briefly go over that. Hope not to keep you too long today. And we will see what is going on in the world. So, 1 second here. Let me grab this. So, as always, ask any questions that you want. I'll go ahead and try to answer them as best I can and get you the information that you need. So, let's start off with what's going on in the market here. So, the board statistics were released a few days ago. Probably not going to do a separate video like I normally do this month. We're holiday season, so not as many people are as engaged, but we'll just see how things go. So let's start off here with single family units. So they are now saying that the median price is $430,990, which means we are now $51,010 away from the high that we had a few months ago. And when it comes to the averages 429. Who cares about that dollar? Right now, we have had 2,096 new listings come on the market, 1,521 sold. And if you've been watching the market every month, fewer and fewer units are being sold, with a few more units coming on the market than being sold. So we now have 7,342 units available. Now, if you look, we actually have fewer units available than in the past. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that people are starting to take their houses off the market because of course, it's the holidays. Some people don't want to show during this time. Some are just not getting the prices they want. And they're just saying, okay, I'm going to wait till next year to see what's going to happen. So let's see what happens. When we come down to the condo and townhome market, 462 sold for a median price of $260,000. There were 492 new listings, a bit better than percentage-wise compared to single-family homes. And we have 1,633 available, 3.5 months of inventory, which is a bit better than the 4.8 months we have with single-family houses. And the average is 272. Now let's go.
I found this on the web.
Hey, when Apple Watch does that, you're just going along and then it just starts talking to you because it's been listening. And people say, oh, I don't trust these things because they don't listen, because they're listening. Okay, let's get on here. So let's compare this against last month. Now, this is another thing to note. Look at what the listings were compared to the sales. So you can see listings and sales as far as the price, heck of a difference, and a little bit of a difference in the condo and townhome market. But let's compare this against last month. So last month, we had 1,724 units sold compared to the 1,521 that we have this month. As far as new listings, last month, 2,883 came on the market, giving us 7,906 units available. And the median price last month was $440. So we've lost $9,010 in value on average, and the median list price has gone down from the 460 that it was. Effective inventory has gone up. In reality, it would have gone up even further if all of those units had not come off the market where people have just said, hey, you know what? I'm tired, no mas. Uh, we actually had just a very slight change for the condo and townhome units. 468 last month compared to 462 this month. The median price was 266, now 260. So we only lost 6,000 in value there. But actually, if you take into account the difference in prices between condos and townhomes and single family, it's just a slight bit more dramatic. Uh, Last month, 684 new units came on the market for a total out there of 1775 compared to 492 this month and 1633. Effective inventory actually went down because this month it was 3.5. Last month it was 3.8. Median prices are also down from 372 450 to, I keep saying 272 450 to 267 450, and median is down from 376 350 to 372 432. Let's look at a year ago, see how things have fared for everyone. So if you go back to November of last year, we are, hard to believe, still positive. So from last year, we went from $420,000 from the median price to $439.90 today. Units sold. Now, see, here's where you're going to see a huge difference. Last year, 3,273 compared to the 1,521 this year. New listings. We actually had more new listings come on the market last year than we had this year, which is surprising. So 2,851 compared to 2,096. I'm not going to worry about the median list, but look here. We have 7,342 units available now. A year ago, 2,805. Effective months of inventory during the November timeframe last year was 0.9 months, which is less than a month to 4.8, putting us, you may as well put it in reality, into a balanced market in theory. I keep saying the words in theory because in theory, right now, prices should be neither decreasing or increasing because we're in a balanced market. But as you've noticed, prices are decreasing every month and have been, and we are down 51,000 from the highs. So let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit in a minute and kind of see how we got here and then get our predictions for 2023. As far as condos and townhomes, oh my goodness. A year ago, 862, we are compared to 462 today. New listings 715 came on the market to 492 today. Last year, there were only 495 units available compared to the 1633 today. And the market was 260 for the median last year compared to 260 now. Now we have 0.6 months of inventory, which is about half a month, compared to 3.5 months now. So a significant change from 21 to 22. Okay. So as you can see, we've had many changes, and we all know how we got here. We got fears of recession, stock market's down, interest rates surprisingly went up, and that affected people's buying power. And as we go into 2023, it will continue to affect people's buying power because let's just look at some simple scenarios here. So we're going to go to mortgagecalculator.org. Just easy. And we're going to take that median price that we had a year ago of 420. I'm going to assume a conventional loan, 3% down. And a year ago, you can get about 2.75 in interest. I know I've done this 1,000 times. Uh, you know what? I'm just going to leave it all the same. 2,400 in taxes, 0.5 PMI. That we're not going to worry about an HOA, conventional loan to buy. Let's calculate it. And we have a payment with the PMI, not including the wait a minute, we put insurance. Yeah, including the insurance and taxes and everything of 2116 for a house you would have bought a year ago. So you get that? A year ago, if you bought a house at those interest rates, I'm going to put this down here because I have bad memory because I'm old. Now you compare that to somebody buying a house now, even with the current interest rates, and what do we get there? 439.90. Let's call it what it is, 431. And now the interest rates are, they've actually gone down. So I'm going to call it 6.5%. Not just lock in with what it was a month ago. That person is now paying $3,100 a month. So there's no nice way, but it's $996, no, $86. No, it's $1,000 a month. So a person buying a house now, even with the reduced prices, paying $1,000 a month than a year ago. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going on with the market. So yeah, that's why housing prices went down, because people can't afford it. And even with the prices going down, you see how much more you're paying. Can you imagine if prices were still, I mean, just flat, if just prices were just laying flat and we had still been to that 482, look what your payments are. Ouch. That is a $1,300 difference if the prices had not come down. And that's at 6.5. It just went down. If we had done this at the top of the interest rates, let's see what it would have been. Oh, okay. $1,550 more per month for housing payment. I don't know. Who has that kind of money? I know a lot of people don't. I mean, you go work at Amazon or something, by the time you pay taxes and everything else, you're grateful you got a $15 an hour job. I mean, if you have a spouse that works, that person is paid out, all the stuff, and then you got to pay your marginal tax rate and all this other stuff. If you got children and everything, daycare, this is your paycheck from Amazon it barely covers the difference here. This is why people are suffering, and they're going to continue to suffer because we have a reprieve in interest rates. And some folks, let me see if I can find this one here. Okay, we drag this over. Like, look at this one on Yahoo. So these Yahoos are saying they believe interest rates could actually hit 9%. Well, how in the world can interest rates hit 9%? They're killing us right now as it is. Well, the reason interest rates may hit 9% is because inflation's still not as under control as the Fed would like it. There may possibly be another Fed interest rate hike. Now, I know that does not directly affect mortgage rates, but it does indirectly affect mortgage rates. And I want to keep my fingers crossed. I don't want to see it hit 9%. I didn't want to see it hit 5%. To be honest, when it hit 5%, I had predicted about a year or two ago. It's like one day it'll be 5%, and people are going to claim it's going to be the largest increase in history, although it's been much higher. 9%? That could be a killer. I don't know if our interest rates will ever get that high. I pray they don't. I truly pray they don't. And because it could destroy the economy. They've done enough. It's surprising that the economy is as resilient as it has been so far. But we got somebody else. We got go focus over on Realtor.com. So what they're predicting. There we go. So they're predicting that mortgage rates throughout 2023 will average about 7.4, which is pretty close to what we had a few weeks ago. I got a question coming in. Let me go read that here. Okay, I've got Mimi here. I got a couple of them. It's the Fed's job to create jobs, yet they are feds. Uh, that could be a little controversial. In reality, one of the biggest jobs of the Fed, believe it or not, is to control inflation. And they do that through monetary policy. And they actually put the inflation rate ahead of things like jobs, because you can see how much they, in all honesty, care, Mimi. They're raising interest rates the way they are. Uh, I'm sure you're on YouTube right now, or else you wouldn't be watching this. You see all the gloom and doom that all these channels are predicting, but what about the other gloom and doom? What about simple things like the car market? Have you noticed the car market is failing right now? They're probably doing worse than the real estate market. It's There are car dealers who are like, there's probably going to be a lot fewer car dealers than there are right now, because people aren't buying cars much anymore. The interest rates have gotten so high. Matter of fact, I haven't even looked. I'll be honest. I need a car. I need a car about yesterday. I've gotten to a point now. My vehicle is 16 and a half years old. Now, I keep driving it because it runs, although I have all these little bitty things that are going wrong with it. And right when COVID hit, I was ready to buy a new car. But every time I went, I was like, well, I don't want to drive off the lot and lose 40%. Then I'd look at a 2-year-old model and I was like, I don't know what the last owner did to this thing. All these excuses we all have. Then, COVID really hit, and then all the car prices started going up. And then people started, oh yeah, like housing. People started paying, you know, for half decent cars, 20, 30,000 over. Although it was a little bit different in the car market, because in the car market, believe it or not, the banks changed their policy, and if you paid 30,000 over, they would write you a loan for the 30,000 over. Not anymore. That's another reason we're in a little bit of an issue. But it's like, no, what? I'm not going to give somebody 30,000 over MSRP. And then, of course, now car prices are back to MSRP. Still can't get them for invoice like you could before. You'll be lucky still to get them MSRP. And to the car dealers, somehow it's a crash. They got used to 2 years or so of making all this extra money that they're not making. So to them, we're in a crash, even though people are still paying them MSRP. I don't know if anybody on here is old enough to remember. MSRP was the last thing you wanted to pay, but now people are paying MSRP and the dealers are freaking out. Kind of like everything else in this business. But anyway, interest rates are now killing me, and it's not. Unless I can come up with the cash, I ain't buying crap, and so I'm stuck. And like my latest thing is, I can't shift my vehicle, so my mechanic had to like take this. It's because like if you jiggle the keys just jiggle in there, so you have to find the right little spot. So it was getting harder and harder to find a spot. Mechanic was like, "Yeah, this thing's going to fail to a point where you'll never be able to shift again." So like, well, fix it. And it's like, oh, there's nothing to fix it. Not even the dealership carries it, and they don't know how to get it. What? So he's actually taking like the thing where the lockout for it. It's actually like sticking up under my little column there, and I have to push down on it, which is actually kind of hard to push. Now put my foot on the brake, push down on it like the key was in the right position, and then shift, because that's the way it is. I got some more questions. Let's see here. To create jobs, just they are encourage. They are in a way encouraging layoffs because they figure that if they encourage, uh, a softer economy like that, the inflation will be tamed. And okay, yes, you're holding on to your Nissan. In all honesty, the vehicle I own has the longest home ownership of all vehicles out there. So the average time for ownership of my vehicle is over 7 years, which is the longest for a new owner to hold a car on average for all car brands. Yet I'm at 16 years. So I think I put in one for the team. uh, let's see here. You're closing on a house in New Jersey. The builder does not know what he's doing. Still can't close. Well, I'd love to hear some more about that. You've been trying to close since August? August. As desperate as I cannot speak for New Jersey. All I know is here in Las Vegas and many parts of the country, builders have started to do the opposite and are suffering. Because I don't know if you saw the video I did a few months back. When I say a few months before the industry changed and all the interest rates started going up and such, there was actually one case in Atlanta and one case in Texas where the builders uh, basically canceled the contracts because they could get more money from folks just out in the system and stuff. So yeah, now they're begging people. One guy was on one of my live streams talking about wanting to get a discount. And this was like before the changes, and it was like, yeah, new house builders don't give a discount. They'll do anything but devalue their product. That was proven wrong because they are lowering their prices. One, buying down your interest rates, uh, incentivizing your agents by giving them huge commissions, which some of them stopped giving commissions. So until like May or so, a lot of them didn't even give commissions. I don't want to mention brands because I don't want to get into trouble. I called for a client on one new house, and the first thing out of the person's mouth, not the second, not how did you, no, it was, you do realize that we don't pay commission. That was the first thing out of their house. Well, I'm calling for a client on a house. You do know we don't pay commission, right? Yeah, now these same builders are begging. We had an event on the board of directors of NAREP, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, uh, and we had this like new build forum. So all the new builders were there, and this particular builder didn't want to be on the panel because they didn't want real estate agents asking questions, aka they were afraid. They did have a representative there, kind of. They were just in the audience, no recognize them at all. But yeah, they're really afraid of a little bit of retribution. But be honest, way the market is, if they're paying commission and doing like some of these others paying 6% commission, people are going to run to them. So we'll see. Yes, I know it can be very frustrating. Oh, I know you do, baby. I know you do. Remember when we got it for you? Ha ha. Kenny was one of probably I think he was the very first person who reached out to me from YouTube, and he has been a really, really great guy. And we are 3D buddies. He's a kind of a nerd like me. He's got his 3D printer. He's got a Bamboo also. It's kind of it's a 3D printer. It's on Kickstarter. It's really hot. It's nice, nice. He's also into the Xtool D1. Man, I wish I had it in front of me. I just finished doing some stuff, Kenny. I'm geeking out for a second, y'all. Okay. Uh, Dollar Tree, they used to have these really large, like beer mugs. They're just gorgeous. And they finally got them back in. And finally figured out all these people are selling these customized beer mugs on Etsy and eBay and Amazon. They get them or got them from Dollar Tree, and they've been out for a long time. And if you go to Dollar Tree and just type in beer mug, and you see this 26.5 ounce model. Um, I started noticing it's like all these people were going like, "Oh my God, thank you for having these in. Finally, again, you're saving my business and all." And then I started looking at the custom mugs on all these other places, and it's like, oh, they're all using the small, cheap, crappy mugs. And then these comments. Then I look at all these old mugs. It's like, oh, okay. All these folks were buying these mugs from. I'm gonna go grab one from uh, Dollar Tree, and they're $1.25. And I just showed somebody who we just went out doing some taping and stuff with different neighborhoods. We drove from one end of Charleston to the other end and went through all the neighborhoods. We did it over a 2-day period. So we got hours and hours of filming and stuff, and did a lot of walkthroughs of to show the differences of houses throughout the area from all the way down Charleston, from the mountain to the mountain. And yeah, but hold on, I gotta show this. So this is what one of the things I'm like going to be giving out to folks from now on. Just coming up with all kinds of stuff because my goodness, you got to feel this in my hands. I actually have. You've probably seen me drinking out of some mugs before. One of them had a Baby Yoda on it. The other had the Star Trek symbol. It's the same daggone mug. And when Comic Con was in town, I bought them damn things like $40 each. For $1.25 mugs. People are gonna love these. Matter of fact, this isn't real estate kind of, but when they came back in, I decided to order 20. So they come 12 to a case. So we got 8 regular and the case. Well, the case didn't show up. And the first thing out of the manager's mouth was like, "Oh, we can just give you a refund." I was like, "Why can't you just get me my glasses?" "Oh, we can just get you a refund." So I'm thinking they have not had these things over a year. I think that they fell off the truck because they still have not been showing up yet. I'm getting notes from Dollar Tree telling me to come pick up my mugs from the store, and they're claiming they never arrived yet. Something this popular because they don't carry them in the stores right now. You can only order them. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, maybe interest rate was 4 now. Oh my goodness. That just 4 to 6. I don't know what your price is, but that's probably cost you what, 700-800 bucks a month. That's a car payment right there. That's a car note. 3.4. Oh man. Okay. I'd love to hear about that. How it went from 4 to 6 to then getting 3.4 because of redlining. Now, redlining is normally a very bad thing. This doesn't sound like a bad deal here, 3.4%. And for those of you who don't know, going back into history, what redlining is the banks literally would take a red pen and draw out neighborhoods, and basically the minority neighborhoods were encrusted in red, and they wouldn't lend in there. That's what redlining actually means. Oh, okay. Used to be a seller. I am not selling on Etsy. Some people have seen some of the other stuff I do. I could probably bring some of it out. Uh, this is just, I mean, late. This is something new that I've started doing after getting into being more creative. I do all kinds of lasering stuff, and now I'm like, I got all this laser stuff, and then I started. I discovered sublimation and heat presses, and the crap I've discovered that you can do with these things is just unbelievable. I mean, you put somebody's face in full color on dog tags and stuff like that. At first I thought it was going to be cool. I could take somebody's picture and laser it onto a dog tag. Now I'm just printing the picture onto a dog tag. And I mean, like, the military dog tags, or you can actually do like little dog tags for dogs and put your mutt's picture on there. You can also do things like uh, first I bought all this wood, the little wood planks and stuff, that are the slices out of the trees with the bark on them. And I've been lasering people's stuff into them. And I found out you can actually sublimate those and put their picture on them. So you could take make it look like an old timey picture, put it on the wood, and it just looks awesome. Dang. I would love if you could leave in here what the builder is. I'm sure I could find the one in Spring Valley. Uh, but man, 1700 for man, please leave that builder. I would love to see that house. Well, PT's probably bought them from Dollar Tree because I have not seen these any other place blank like this. Because I think all the crafters or creators or whatever put these into circulation to modify them because you can't get this for $1.25. Matter of fact, what I didn't finish on the story, after they lost that case, I ordered 3 more cases, which technically should be here in the morning, but who knows? And then after the second time, my wife went back and they said they still don't have it. And of course, then went, you can have your money back. No, other words, so I can finally pull that case out the back and put it on the shelf for whoever I promised it to, or because I bet you they promise these things to folks. Because I'm gonna work. My wife was a manager in retail for Walmart. Yeah, that stuff happens all the time. So I'm sure I can't swear to it. I can't promise that's what happened. But yeah, she probably, I think my wife said the manager was a she. Yeah, she probably promised those out. They came and I was like, ooh. Now when the 3 cases arrive tomorrow, I wonder what she'll do then. And it's going to be 2 more weeks, but I got 6 more cases showing up. Wonder what'll happen then. I'm just going to actually keep ordering. I actually want like 200 of them now because I feel that it's worth it just to give out to people. It's like you get a mug, you get a mug, you get a mug. And then I discovered even cheaper ways for medium because you usually buy this spray to put on there and the spray's like $75 a little can. And I discovered the tempura paint that you can buy at the Dollar Tree. That's what I did this with. It came out, in my opinion, better than the $75 spray. And yes, rollover. Sellers, they're not just offering buy downs. If you don't ask for a buy down from a seller right now, you're doing something wrong. Because that is going to save you possibly $1,000 a month according to how much you're paying. Okay. Okay. What's the name of the bank? I want to read about that and probably do something. Oh yeah. Oh, I got a heat. I actually have 3 heat press machines now. The first heat press I got on eBay. I'm not eBay. During Amazon Day, and the following day, no, the second day they had a better one. So I was going to return the first one. Then somebody said they would get it off of me because I got it for really low price on Amazon Day. It was really low. I mean, it's not even half of what they're selling them for now. And then they changed their mind. Then I found the day I needed to make the decision to return it. So like this is like the last day I can return it. Somebody else said, "Oh yeah, I'll take it." I didn't even ask them to. Somebody else asked the person, and then they never wrote me a check. And we're now almost Christmas time, but uh, you know what? I don't care. I'm actually going to give it to them. So then I got the better one. The only reason it's better is it had more attachments to it. And then you haven't figured out, I do a lot of Kickstarters. So I got a Kickstarter where it was this heat press from HVT Runt, and it's auto heat press, and it auto figures everything out. It figures the correct pressures and everything. So I'll just still have that. And I ended up buying a separate mug press because I wanted to do like much more fancy stuff. I got a whole bunch of stuff for sublimation down there now on lasering. 2023, I'm going to be the gift king. I'm going to be giving out gifts like they were candy. Matter of fact, I figured it out. I have like 300 that are left, not including what I've used up, of like, not including buying more of them, uh, which I'm going to be doing before the end of the year. I have like 373 mugs, um, the skinny mug, the skinny little mug thing, tumblers, those little 20-ounce skinny tumblers. I got 50, no, 40 of those. I got coffee cups that are for sublimation. I just got just that's just for like drinking beverages. I gotta like put all the stuff in the storage. It's taking up too much space, and plus all the other stuff. I'm gonna be giving out presents like they're candy, literally candy. Okay. Oh, you're not oversharing. This is our time to just enjoy each other, talk. You have a question about real estate? Ask it. You want to talk about um, Etsy? Ask it. Uh, I said this time aside because if you haven't figured out, I'm a big nerd. And if I wasn't doing this, I'd be figuring out. As a matter of fact, my YouTube is open to learning some more stuff about new transfer techniques of transferring a photograph to a glass bottle or glass. So I could use that to figure out how to transfer a photo to here and make it even cooler. For those of you who don't know, haven't figured it out. I'm retired from the Air Force. A lot of times I do the real estate to it's more to one, help a lot of folks, and two, to keep myself busy with things to do, even though now I've discovered all this new crafty stuff. And I've never been what I would consider a creative, crafty person. I've been doing that stuff to keep me busy. So it's actually like really fascinating. I love it. Roll over. Yeah. The sellers are offering that. You'll get that with no issues whatsoever. Anybody who will not give you a buy down they're like these people who've been on the market for 188 days and they're asking their realtor why their house hasn't sold. Well, your house hasn't sold because one, before you had it overpriced, you refused to lower the price. Every time your realtor asked you to lower the price, you went, I don't want to do that just yet. Oh, by the way, the median price has gone down $51,010, but you don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't know what else you're going to do. By the way, those are the sales prices. If you start looking through, you'll see that a lot of them have concessions. I can remember just a few months ago, I was talking to a lender and they were saying, oh, half the stuff that's coming across my desk has a concession, aka either paying closing costs or paying for the buy downs. I was talking to as a matter of fact, go back about 2 weeks. I was talking to Andrea. She said just about all of them that are coming through her desk are having some kind of buy down or something, which means that is the new norm. Now, there are sellers who don't want to do it. They hem and haw don't want to do it, and they wonder why their house hasn't sold. If you notice the numbers we had here, every single month, fewer houses are sold, more houses come on the market. It's called reality. 8 months ago, you had to pay 50,000 over. It's just the way it was. Now people are offering 50,000 under. So we haven't seen the beginning of it. And as long as these interest rates the way they are, it's going to continue that way. Just don't be the guy who comes in asking for when the house is already properly priced. I actually had some of this happen. Got a house that's properly priced lower than any of the other houses, been fixed up. You look at the one I've been talking about. I got an offer for like 75,000 under the list price. That was already the lowest price. It's already been fixed up. Wanted 75,000 off, and then wanted all the closing costs and buy downs. I'm like, what? No, bro. Or at least my seller was like that, because I even was like, let's contact was like, no, bro. You don't have to walk away. You don't have to do this. Don't know what that means. Yeah, I got a lot of toys. I got to spend it before my wife can. You can still refinance. I'll try to keep this in mind. I'll get old and out of play it. I will send you a breakdown of what you can get now because you can still do home equity line because even with as much as I know my value has gone down, I'm getting home equity line offers from my mortgage company for, I don't know, for all I know now, more than my house is worth. And when I say for all I know, more my house is worth, because nobody knows what anything is worth anymore. And I was looking at a house that had nothing to do with me even looking. It was because of the drive I was talking about from one end of Charleston to the other, from mountain to mountain. And I literally was looking because the app that I was using started me off in my neighborhood. And so I'm looking at a house and it's like, oh, it's only that's a real low amount for a house, this neighborhood. And then I looked, and the house was it's been on the market for a bit, like 4.5 months. And then it's like, man, how this house? But they started. They've reduced the price by $100,000 so far. But even the amount that they started it at was still like, hold on, let me see, $70,000 lower than the high sale of that same model in the neighborhood. So now they're down. They got it offered out at $170,000 less than the high sale. That should tell you something right there. That should tell you something. Even with that, somebody would have to pay with current interest rates about $4,100 a month. So yeah, yeah. So text me if I forget to send the latest value of what it looks like it's worth, and you should be able to get that in a home equity loan. So you don't have to do a complete refi. I would not, because of your interest rate. I would just do a home equity line and take that money to do that. Okay. Well, we had a lot of good discussion tonight, man. I'm enjoying myself here. Uh, Anybody else have any questions? See, we already talked about interest rates at 9%. Let's see, Redfin. Oh, here we go. Come on. Let's see here. Redfin is predicting a sales slump that will push prices down. So yeah, I see prices being pushed, but I'm getting, it's just really conflicting information. Some of these quote unquote economists are saying that it's going to go, we're still going to have positive growth of like 5.4% for the year, while others are saying that it's going to go down. Um, you know what? I'm just be honest. Nobody knows what in the hell is going on. Everybody pretends. They run around with their PhDs. I guarantee you, a year ago, nobody would have said housing prices would have gone down in Las Vegas by $51,000. No one. At the beginning, when this stuff started and the interest rates started going up, there were people who said the housing market is going to crash by 50% by the end of the year. As bad as it feels to be out that money, let me tell you something. It's not down 50%. So none of them know what the hell they're talking about, period. What's going to happen is the economy is going to do what the economy is going to do. There was a time when no one predicted that somebody would gladly pay $50,000 and $60,000 over a list price. There's no prediction that let's see, a house I closed on right before this happened that we had to pay over. I ain't gonna lie. The seller was talking to us during the home inspection because the seller stayed behind, and she was telling me about all the people who came through because there was like 20 something offers on the house. We just were lucky enough to win. And how one of the people got down on their knees in front of her and started crying, a full-grown man, begging her that he could have a house. A full-grown man on his knees in front of a woman, begging her to let him have that house. Now that same man is right now writing an offer for 50,000 under, demanding full closing costs. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I remember going to one house. Somebody got said the guy's wife sat down on the bed in the master bedroom. You're not supposed to say that, but I think I can get away with it. Saying that she wasn't going to leave until she could have that house. The husband couldn't get her out, and she's like throwing a fit on this man's bed. This is the market we were in. We ain't in that market anymore. As a buyer, you got some power. As a seller, yeah, it changed. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Wish I could have put my house on the market at the top of the market and got 170,000 more than I could possibly get for it now, because that house has not sold. Well, I could get more because they didn't have a pool. So, oh, what happens if pools go back? I mean, right now, a house with a pool, according to the neighborhood and certain other factors, is going to sell for at least 80,000 more than a house without a pool. 5 years ago, a house with a pool sold for 10,000 more. It's the market. What we got here? Prices are already dropping, rollover. Hopefully my assistant put the info in there. I'll send you the, hold on. I'm going to do this live. Let me see if I can do this live on air. I'm going to send you a link. I'll put a link live on air. Let's see if I can do this here. Pray for me now. Where is it? This link is actually to all of the new builds. This is live data. It's like going to an MLS site. Let's see how this works. Okay. Hit that link right there. You register on, it's called New Home Source. It's actually something from the MLS. This is where all the new home builders put their inventory. So it's like a house they haven't even graded the first piece of land, haven't even run the utilities out to, that's going to be built a year from now, to something that's a move-in ready house. They're all there. So just go to that website there, register in for it. I'm not going to bother you unless you ask me to bother you. Ask Kenny. I ain't going to bother you. Yeah, that's it. You'll be taken care of. Or you can call me up, text me or something. We'll do that. But yes, prices are dropping. They're offering incentives to the realtors. I mean, like ridiculous incentives. Like the people who weren't paying co-op before are paying 4, 5, 6% co-op. That's why I've said, a realtor doesn't have to do anything when they sell your new house. That's why some realtors specialize in it. There's a realtor that you'll see here on YouTube. I ain't going to mention names, but I have some familiarity with his business. I look at it, and he's got this huge ass organization, but I sell more houses than him. They make no sense to me. So I found out he's only selling new homes because he's got such a thing going that even when they weren't paying in co-op, they were paying him co-op. So yeah, so you don't get to see when they sell new homes. But if someone's paying a realtor 6%, I mean, in the state of Nevada and some other states, I think there's only a handful of states like Kansas and stuff where you can't get an incentive. Buy a new house. That realtor doesn't have to do anything. Of course, they were going to pretend that if they put in all this work and they had to do all this stuff. No. There's nothing they have to do. They take you down there. They sit there reading the magazine. The new home agent, they go through all the stuff with you. And you'll never have to talk to that realtor again. They'll show up with a fruit basket for you at the closing and then get their check. get yourself a little something, something. Okay, let's see here. You're not now. You say you're retired, Arrowhead. Uh, by chance, are you retired from the military or did you serve? If you did, you can do, and you're qualified for a VA loan, you can do an assumption. You can find someone who has a VA loan and actually assume that loan at their interest rate. Now, you have to come up with the money to pay the difference, and you may have to finance that difference. But let's say you found somebody and they're selling their house for 500,000, they owe four. Financing 100,000 is a lot better than trying to finance five at a higher interest rate. On top of that, they can still you can still do that assumption, have them do a pay down, and let's say you found somebody with 2.25%. If you find them, this is only if you're a veteran now. Now you can do this for anything, but I'm pretty sure nobody wants to give up their benefit. But you may find somebody who's willing to do it. Get them to pay a buy down, so 2.25% on the first mortgage of 300,000 and 3.5 on the second. I mean, you can't beat that. And I'm not going to show that. Congratulations on that, Kenny. Uh, kind of welcome to the club. As you know, I'm at 100 and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. And I'm glad you're able to do it. I know you worked hard on it and enjoy that extra money. Yes, you are a veteran. Great. Have your real, if you're here in Las Vegas, no, reach out. If you're not, just wherever your real estate professional is, what they can do is a search for loan type of a house. And so find somebody who possibly bought during those magical times. And we had about a year or so when you could get interest rates that low. Actually, about 2 years, 2.5. So yeah, I mean, if you want between about, you know, 2.25 and 3%, have them do a search for loans that are currently VA loans, and then they can contact the realtor, find out if what the interest rates are, and if they're willing to do an assumption. If they do an assumption with a veteran, they get their benefit back, which means there is no skin off of their teeth, none. Now, their realtor may not be your realtor or their realtor may not be able to worry about it because they don't know how to run these things. Just find somebody who can run with it. I ain't saying go find another realtor. Well, you know what I'm saying. Have your real estate agent educate themselves. Go out there, do this for you. You get that 2.25%, and on your end, make sure you let people know that you have an assumable loan. All VA loans are assumable, so anybody can assume it. If you don't want to worry about no, not having your benefit again, then make sure it's assumed by another veteran. And even if it's not assumed by another veteran, you may have enough benefit left over to purchase another house anyway and still use your VA loan, even though someone assumed it who was not a veteran. Talk to your lender and see how much of the benefit that you have left over and how much they will lend on the benefit. Because just because it's going to be 726 next year for non-high rate counties. If you have a $250,000 loan, in theory, you have almost $500,000 you can use, but that's what you can use. In reality, your lender may only allow you to have 300,000. So talk to your lender. You may have something on that. Okay. Okay, well, we're coming up on an hour now. We've had some great conversations. I mean, this is some great conversations tonight. Is there anyone else out there who have any questions? Anything I want to ask? I mean, anything you want to ask me? Anything you want to cover about what I've been saying about talking about going into 2023? How this year has ended, and I know we talked to Mimi there about the Fed. Like I said, a lot of people don't realize that the Fed's main job is controlling inflation. By the way, in case you didn't know, the Fed is not a federal agency. They're private bankers. So we turned our economy over to private enterprise back in the 30s. So even though the Fed chair and the governors are elected by Congress, or whatever, by Congress, they are private bankers. The Federal Reserve banks that are around the country, those are private banks. Now, if you notice, I ain't got a dollar bill in front of me. The dollar bill doesn't say what it says. It's a Federal Reserve note. So basically, they get to print through the U.S. Mint. So they direct the Mint on what gets printed. And so that's backed by the good faith of the United States government. But no, this is all private enterprise stuff. And their main mandate is controlling inflation. And it always has been. Okay, well, I don't see anybody else coming through. For those of you who watched, I really appreciate that you were here. Had a good crowd tonight. If you need anything, reach out. If you're watching on the replay, I've dropped that link in there. So go in and check to see if you're looking at new homes. Go there. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and I'll answer the best I can. I wish you all a happy holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Festivus, the holiday for the rest of us. And thank you all for the thanks, and I am out of here.